Right, hopefully you can hear me now. Thank you for telling me that I was muted. Muted. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. Sadly, we don't have all the players tonight, so rather than doing nothing, I thought I would give you a bit of a behind the scenes look at the game, and so you can hopefully that'll be interesting for you to stick around and have a look and a listen. So let's get straight into it. I'm wondering whether or not it will be easier to go onto my normal gaming scene. Let's try this, and I'm going to just bear with me. And then I can share everything with you, hopefully, because I think if I pop this out, I should be able to capture this. For you. Let's just move it down a bit. Oh, actually, it'll probably be fine just there. Man, I'm looking forward to my new chair next week. Oh, do you want to know? I wish I had a proper chair. I've got this sort of like old-fashioned office chair. Even Chugga has a proper chair. I don't even have a proper chair. But I know what you mean. I wish I had a standing desk. I would love to have a standing desk, you know, that you can obviously stand up with, but that's not going to be the case. Does this setup look all right for everyone? I hope it does. There's a bit of a blank gap up there, but we can probably live with that. So yeah, okay then. So I thought what we'll do is have a go at making up a character so people can see how characters are generated, and maybe, you know, just maybe you'll suddenly think, oh, I quite fancy this game. And then you can come along and join us, because we're always looking for new people to come along and join. We've got 5 people at the moment, so an extra one would be absolutely no problem at all. I'm just trying to find, I'm sure in the rules book, there is a step-by-step of how to create a character, but I can't actually find it. Here we are. Yeah, I've got it. I have got it. Let's see if I can pop this on for you as well. Oh, actually, we already have this. You can tell I'm not actually fully prepared here. There it's. This is the one that we need. Right, and let's just bring that down a bit so that can go over there as well. Okay then, so I don't know if you can, let me just increase this. So the first thing that we should always do when we're creating a character is to look at the concept of that character. Okay, and this is something that we all do. I'm just going to bring in another window. Just bear with me. I just don't like that black bit ahead in right over my head. What's this? Let me just change that. That's not what I want. That's the one I want. And then I'm just going to transform this to fit the screen. And then I'm just going to bring it right the way down so it goes underneath my cam. Okay, there we go. So the first thing that you should always start off with is a concept of a character. And this is sort of like, what character do you want to play? Is it somebody who's very sword and shield orientated, or weapons? Is it somebody that has magic? Is it somebody who combines the both of them? And that's one of the good things about the Mythras system, because it's not actually a class-based system, okay? And it's a system that you can have anything that you want all linked together. You probably won't be, if you try to link sorcery and theist together. Sorcery is sort of like the main magic class type of magic, and then theism are like clerics. If you try to put them together, then you won't make a perfect character, but it still be playable. And you don't need to sort of like say, I'm only going to be doing this, or I can't wear any armor because I'm casting spells. There's none of that restriction in the game. So what I thought we'll do today is start off just by generating a typical sword and shield character, a sword and shield character who maybe also has a bow and things like that. Okay, so as you can see, once we've decided what we need, we then need to apply the characteristics, which are I just need to kill that, which are these things here. So there's actually 7 characteristics: strength, constitution, size, dexterity, intelligence, power, and charisma. And there's several ways you can organize the roles in that. If you want to roll dice, then you can do. So you roll 3d6s for strength, constitution, dexterity, and power, and charisma. And then for size and intelligence, you roll 2d6 plus 6. We actually don't use that method. We have used a method that you get 75 points and you allocate them to your character. And you can just sort of like add them up from there. So you can see from the character, this is a Roll20 character sheet. So you can see it's quite, it's not complex. And because we're on Roll20, it sort of like does everything for us, which is absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start to allocate some points. We need 75 altogether. That's what we actually need. And what I tend to do now, this is really bad since I'm a mathematician. I normally just have Excel open, and I literally just have something that adds up X amount to make 75. And then what I can do, I can just sort of like mess about with the numbers until I get there. So I'm thinking that I want to be quite strong. So let's start off by putting 18 in strength. You know, we're going to be that's a bit under the average. Yeah. So, and it works really well. It works really well. Constitution, I want quite high, I think. I'll put size. Dexterity, I'm not so bothered about. Like that, and 10 like that. So what I've got, I've literally got 18, 13, 12, and then a whole load of 10, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 83. So we need to make some adjustments. Now, the important thing about Mythras is that none of these characteristics are throwaway skills. None of them. So you might see here that there's something called experience modifier. Okay, so that if I took my charisma down to 3, can you see that I've now got -1 experience modifier? So what that means is that every time you normally get 2 experience rolls per session, when you get back to town, you won't get 2, you'll get 1. You also might notice that a whole load of these skills here have 2 characteristics. So, for example, athletics is strength and dexterity. Okay. Influence is charisma, 2 lots of charisma. And these actually give you the base scores. So we never want to have sort of like lows. If you put a low score in it, it's still going to have an impact. Okay, so let's put 9 here and 9 here and 9 here. Now, what you could do, Alqua, add all those up for me and tell me what I'm up to. I think I've still got to lose 4 points out of this. Yes, every stat is a purpose. I think I'm at 79. So let's take this down to 17. Now, action points are really important. So action points are the number of turns you can fight. So if I've got 2 action points, that's not very good for a fighter. The majority of fighters will have 3 action points. And action points, if I just look here, is I think they're actually action points are the intelligence and dexterity together. Okay, then, so maybe what I need to do is let's give us that and move that round. We've still only got 2. So for 3, I need to get it up to 25. This is your intelligence and your dexterity. I think we're just going to have to leave it at 2. I feel that I'll be a character that when I hit, I do serious damage. But, you know, other times I don't. And we could sort of like start from there. We could drop our strength down and see if we can get some more. Or let's drop our constitution and size is going to give us hit points here. So they're going to be really, really important. So I do want to have good hit points here. Okay, now what you could do now, I'm going to take this back down to 9. What you could do, and what some people will do, is that they'll start playing the oh, look, if I put that to this amount, this will increase it. I try to think about my character and how that will play. You won't have and a big damage unless you drop. Yes, exactly. But that could have issues as well. For example, luck points here. Okay, so luck points are based on your power. Okay, so power is sort of like the main stat for magic users and spellcasters because it works out the magic points here. So if I take it down to say 8, I'm still going to have 2 luck points. So some people will sort of like think, okay, then this one. So I can't get 3 luck points unless I bring my power up to 13. Okay, so it's just sort of like, right, I'm just going to have 2 luck points. Now, just out of interest, let me show you intelligence initiative. Yeah, initiative is, you're probably right if you got the rules open, is dexterity and intelligence. So if we look at some of the, if we look at somebody like Bartleby Fumus, then you can see that the majority of his stats are in intelligence and power, but only 14s. We don't have a huge amount. Merrick, who is a fighter, maximum 14 there. You know, there's nobody. Cyrus's stats, maximum 14. Hazra's maximum 13. So I think it's interesting. Oh, you couldn't see those sheets, but I think what I'm going to do is drop this to, if I drop that to 14, I lose my damage modifier. I quite like that being up at 16. I just think I want a really strong character. I think I'm at, I think now, and somebody, I think that is 75. I think that is 75 now. Um, 28, 38, 38, 40, 50, 66, add 9, 75. Yeah, there you go. So luckily for us, this part is all worked out by themselves. Okay, so I don't need to calculate these. If I was calculating them, then there's a table that you look at, and it tells you what each one is, if that makes sense. So it's just sort of like you just have to open the rules. And to be honest with you, I think it's really interesting because we very rarely make up characters. If you think about it, because we make one character up and then that's it. Okay, then. So this is essentially our stats done. So the action points is the number of times we'll operate per round. Damage modifier, obvious. Healing rates, the number of hit points every hour, day, or week. Initiative is what we add to a 1d10 to get our points. Luck points, magic points, and movement. These are our hit points in each location. So those are all done for us. And then what we need to think about next is our culture. Okay. And the culture is almost like the way we create characters in Mythras is that they actually let me just pull the rules over for you. they actually, it's almost like you think about it, about life. That's what you think about life, and how the let me just do that. And you look at the various stages of life. So you have sort of like a series of steps. We look at culture first, whereabouts they've come from. Then we look at profession, their job, and then we just add some bonus skills at the end. So the communities, you basically have various options. There'll be I know what I'm looking for. If I get to the careers, it gives you what you can be here. Look, so you could be a civilized, you could be a barbarian, you could be a nomad, or you could be a primitive. Okay, and those are basically it. Okay, so you really have to choose one of those 4 points, one of those 4 areas. Now, the interesting thing is this will define what skills you can actually increase. It also gives you it limits what profession you can be. So I feel that I'm going for almost like a barbarian or primitive. You know, because I mean, everything has a warrior in. And the typical example of this is that Hasra's almost like a nomad warrior. He might actually be a scout, actually. Merrick is a civilized one. I'm just making sure. Yeah, that's all right. Everybody's reporting in. So you sort of like need to decide. And I'm really tempted to go primitive. That's what I'm really tempted to create, like a primitive warrior. But then I'm thinking, if I'm a primitive warrior, will I have I probably have things like bone armor or something like that. Or do I want to go sort of like a civilized warrior? So I have a bit like Hengist, I have really solid armor that I'm wearing. I think what I'm going to go, let's do primitive and see how things go out. We can always change things later on. Okay, then. So in this part of the rules, we have some points that we can allocate. And we play something a little bit different at this point. So the first thing that we do is that we can add 40% to our custom and native tongue. So custom is how you know how to behave in the in that sort of like culture. And then native tongue is speaking. Please remember that you don't automatically get to be able to read in Mythras. You have to buy the skill. So I know that I can add 40% in customs and native tongue. So here, that 40% is in already. You can see it there. And there's a native tongue already there. Okay, so this is the joy of using this sheet. Right, so next up, we have some points. And we have we can select 3 professional skills and a desired combat style, and then we distribute 100 points. Okay, we can increase it by 1%. The minimum 1 point is 1%, but the minimum is 5%, and we can't receive more than 15%. So we've got 100 points, and we got 3 professional skills and a combat style. So a combat style basically is how you're going to fight. And we generally say these are not in the actual rules. You don't have to do this part. We normally say that a combat style will include 3 weapons. Okay, you don't have to do that. That is just how we've sort of like worked it out. And we normally give it a fancy name. So say for my say I feel that I want to give them almost like a two-handed hammer or two-handed club or something like that. And this is when we sort of like need to go back to the rules, and we sort of like think, okay, then, so what two-handed, do we want a two-handed weapon so we can have a great club? That sounds good, doesn't it? Great hammer does more damage, but I'm thinking being like a primitive, a great club is probably the best way to go. So maybe we have a great club, a normal club, and maybe, well, why don't we have great club, knife, and then maybe we can have a bit of a ranged weapon, and we can, I mean, we could have a blowgun. That would be fun, won't it? That doesn't normally do any damage. Or we can have thrown a bowler. Let's have a bowler. That would be fun, won't it? So if I go back into my character here, I'm just going to expand this, and I'm going to put in here great club. Knife and bowler, and we're going to call it, you can call it anything that you want. There's no sort of like positive or negative. You can call it whatever you want. Hit hard, that's what we're called. We'll call that. That is going to be our combat style. Okay, and I feel out of our 100 points, remember we've got 100 points now. So I'm just going to start off with 100, and then these will add up. I've got an Excel spreadsheet. So I want to put 15 points into here. So 15 onto that would be 43, I think. There you go. 15 comes into that. So that's good. So that's 43 done. Okay. Now, the next thing, we need to choose some professional skills for our primitive character. And at the base of each one of these, I'll just up it a bit. These give you the professional skills here, and the example combat skills, and the normal skills. Now, what the book suggests you do is you divide 100 points between everything that you've got left. We don't play it like that. We just sort of like say, okay, then these are your skills, allocate how you want them to go. Okay, then, so we can pick 3 professional skills to work on. And this is when you sort of like need to think more about your character, because I will have survival and track, and I'll have those because I'm a primitive person, and that's what you gain in life. And I probably have a bit of healing as well. I probably used to sort of like bandaging my own wounds and things like that. So I don't feel that I'm going to be somebody like a healer. I don't think we're going to have that at all. So we'll have survival and track and some healing. And then we've got some other standard skills. So let's just let's put. This is when you need a bit of maths again. I'm just identifying the ones that I want to put into. See, I don't want to. I'm one of either athletics, boating, or swim. Right. I think I'm going to go swim here. And initially, I'm just putting 15 in them all. And then I can just see what... I've just got an Excel spreadsheet open on my other screen. That's it. Right, if I put 15 on them all, I'm 5 over. So I'm going to drop my healing down to 10. That will give me enough. So please remember, we changed the rules slightly here. So we've got, so we have a professional skill. So this first professional skill is survival. And then we've got our next one is track. And our final one is healing. Oops. Okay. And then we're going to put 15 into brawn. So that's 31, 41 in there. That should change to 15. We're putting 15 in endurance, which will be 39. That's not right. I think I'm too high. Yeah. 39. I was right the first time I said it. And then the other thing that we're putting we're putting 15 into swimming. 35. That'll be 38. 33. Oops, not 233. That'll be. What's that give me? 5. 43. I was close. Oh, that's too high. 38. Is that 15? Oh, no, 43. We put it... oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I was on the wrong page there. So we've got all our sort of like those stats in. Now we do have some professional skills. So you can see here that they just say base and that's all. So in the book, it tells me what my base skills are going to be. So, for example, healing is intelligence and power. Okay, that's what that is. Survival is constitution and power. And constitution and power. And then track is intelligence and constitution. So these are just added together. And then what we can do then is add on the other skills. So this is going to be 35 in total. This is going to be 36 in total. And this one's only going up by 10, so it'd be 27. Okay, so now we've got all our sort of like, we've got our characteristics, our hit locations, etc. And we've got our culture sorted. Okay, so that's, we're well on our way. And we've used up our points, we've used up our 100 points, and we're ready for our next part. So if you remember that the next part that we talk about, so once we've had our culture, we're going to have our profession. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to have our warrior. That's what we're going to be. That's going to be our profession here. And you can see that it sort of like provides us with some ideas that we can use, and then some standard skills and professional skills underneath. Okay. So, and these actually fit into your character and how they actually progress and what they're going to look like. So we've got some standard, some skills there, standard skills there, and then we've got some professional skills there. And I think we need to be quite brutal here. I'm wondering, I might not become sometimes you need to try to find a class that sort of like matches what you're doing, in the sense that almost like the scout is quite a nice mix, okay, rather than a warrior. And I think he's probably a scout rather than the warrior. This sounds more like a noble, a civilized person, because he's got things like engineering and gambling, which I don't think mine would have. So let's go with the idea of a scout. Now, this is when we start looking at our careers, and we can then add. It says up here, the same can sort of like happen again. So we can choose 3 professional skills, and then we've got 100 points to put in, 1% and 15%. Yeah, we can have a scout in our primitive. There's also hunter as well. So let's check hunter out. Yeah, I don't. I mean, he could be. Commerce is like shopping, and mechanisms is like traps. So I don't think that's him at all. I think we're going to go scout. We're going to go scout with this one, I think. Okay, then. So let's go back to our character and let's think what skills we want. And there's some note sections down here that we can sort of like write in. So we've got a range of skills, and we got 100 points in. So I noticed that endurance is here again. So that's a good one. I noticed that there's first aid and there's healing. Okay. And so, but we can put some more into healing. Combat style is there as well. So we can add that. Hey, Bopu, how you doing? We can. I'm just doing a behind the scenes to show you how we create characters in Mythras because we're one person down today. So we've got survival, and we've got track. We've got swim as well. Okay, then. So let's see. Let's put some of these in. So we could do a maximum of 15, and we got 100 points. So I've put 15 in there, 15 in there. So I'm really sort of like upping his scouting thing. So this is like 60. 60. Look, we can actually do 90. 30, 60, 90. And then we'll have 10, which let's put that final 10 into perception. Now, just to let you know, I'm not a magic user, okay? And in the game, magic, anybody who's magic has certain skills, okay? So this is the shaman or the animist. I noticed that in its professional skill, it has binding, which is its casting skill, and trance. So every spellcaster has 2 skills. Okay, so if I look at a sorcerer, that has incantation and shaping. Okay, so incantation is what they roll to see whether or not their spells come off. Shaping is the number of points that they can have to manipulate their spells. So technically, Cyrus is a sorcerer. If anybody has any questions, by the way, then do ask. I'm more than happy to answer them. And we don't have to finish today, if that makes sense. The game doesn't have clerics as such. It has something known as animists, which are the priests. And they have devotion and exhort. Okay, so if you were becoming a spellcaster, you would have to go into one of these careers and gain those 2 spells, those 2 professional skills. Now, on top of that, you might have noticed that there's another skill called folk magic. And folk magic is really primitive magic. It's quick and easy to cast. It doesn't do a lot. It can have some good effects. It could be easily easily neutralized. I don't say dispel because the spells in Mythras are called neutralize magic rather than dispel magic. So if I was a spellcaster, I would have to take those skills, and you have to take them both, but you don't have to have folk magic. All our spellcasters do have folk magic in addition to devotion and exhortive. For Bartleby has them. But it's interesting that Merrick also does have folk magic, and he can put blade sharp on his own weapon. So you need to be sort of like thinking ahead about that as well. But we're not making a spellcaster at the moment. We're making this primitive scout who's going to have wield a two-handed club and be able to chuck a bowler, hunting bowler. Okay, then. So these are my points. So I've got to add another 15 points into endurance. So 15 and take it to 49, 44 in there, I think. And that should, oh no, 54, sorry. And that should go up to 30 once I click out of it. There you go. What else were combat style is going up by 15. 15, so that would be 58, I think. 58. Hey, Jundar, I'm just filling the gap. I'm showing how to make up characters in Mythras. You might be interested in this. Always looking for new people. Healing is going up by 15. So that's going to be 37, 42, I think. Yeah, 25. Survival and tracking by 15. Survival, so 40. That's going to go up to 50. And tracking 46, 51. And then I think we put 15 in swim and 10 in perception. Thank you for that follow. That Hex, welcome in. I'm in with the in crowd. It's great for stabilizing wound bleeding character. Yeah, it can heal minor wounds and stabilize things. There is only one. There's literally one healing spell in folk magic. Okay, there's only one healing spell, and it's literally called heal. It's there. So suffering a minor wound, it restores all hit points, but then serious wounds, the spell will just stabilize it. But interestingly enough, as well as that, there's also first aid and healing. So I'm just getting the sheet up so you can see it. So there's quite let me see if I cancel that and pop that on that tab, you'll be able to see it. So you can see that first aid heals 1d3, healing skill 1d3, folk magic, and then it's these big spells that are really powerful. So sorcerers who are like magic users, they have a spell that can heal. So it's not just the theists, the clerics. Okay, and anybody can have folk magic, anybody at all. So, okay then, so let's go back to our character. And what did I add my swim? Swim and perception. Swim is done, perception I go up to 27. Okay, so this is now I'm nearly done with the characters creation, nearly, because there's some other things that we need to talk about. And the next thing that comes in is something known as, we have age, and bonus skills. Okay, so age, you can actually roll. You should really roll your age right at the beginning, but we are generally all adults. This is basically what we are. So we're going to have 150 bonus skill points plus 15 maximum. You can actually make old characters if you wish. They have more bonus skill points and more a maximum age, but they also have negatives as well. So being old, you get negatives as well. But we're going to, the final thing that we've got is 150 points that are bonus skill points. And there's several things we can do with that. We can choose a professional skill or combat style. So if I was making up a sorcerer, I might not have had access to a combat style yet. So this is when I would have to pick it up. Or you could do a random professional skill that is something to do with your character. And then we can distribute the rest of it. I've got 150 points among anything that we can, the rest of the skills. Okay, so no points may be assigned to those combat or not learned as part of their culture and career. So I can't go back and pick I can only pick one more hobby skill, and that's it out of my professional skills. So I'm sort of like having a look down here, and I could at this point take folk magic if I wanted. I could literally put folk magic in there. I'm thinking probably not. That's not, or mysticism are the mystics. They sort of like alter their body. It could be something that this character could have. I'm sort of like trying to think what additional skill I might pick up. And I'm trying to think about my character. I'm wondering whether or not they have a craft skill, you know, but they're never very good at it. They were never good at it. I'm going to take I've already got survival. I've already got survival. So, so far I've got, here, look, I've got survival, track, and healing. I could take something in invade, but I don't think I'm the sort of person that's going to move out the way of things. I'm almost like thinking that a bit like Hazra, I might have actually had to go and sell things, which is one idea. I'm tempted to go craft. I really am tempted to go craft or law. I won't be very good at it, but navigation. I wonder whether or not we should go navigation. Using prominent landmark styles or various tastes of SeaWorld, the ability to accurately travel is covered. Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with navigation. I've decided. So that's going to be my hobby. Navigation. And what are the skills? Intelligence and power. So I'm not going to be very good at it to start off with, but it's something that I could improve in the future. And remember, that's the fun thing about this. You can actually increase. Okay, then. So we got 15 more points to put in, and we got 150 more points, and we've got all the skills that we already have. Now, this is something else that we play differently. So can you see this tick? This means I've trained in these sort of like skill points. Now, normally, if I wanted to buy another skill, I would have to train in it first. Now, we don't actually play that rule. It's only because we never thought about it at the time, and now we're sort of like too far down from it. So we don't play that rule. It does happen, but, you know, it's something that we don't actually do. I would love... I can only put it in the ones that I've got. And I wish I'd put some into unarmed. So that might be something that we can sort of like improve on as we go along. Okay, then. So let me just... we're going to put 15 in navigation, which will make 27, 32, okay, in there. So that's good. Okay, I'm going to put another 15 into my combat style. So that's 68. That'll be, no, 68. I thought it was going to be 72, but that's 73. So that's 15 points there. I'm going to take a note of these, and 15 points endurance. Let's put another 15 points into brawn. So that's going to be 56. Somebody needs to add these up for me as we go along. Let's put 15 points into that. So that'll be 65. And 15 points into track. So that'll be 66. 1, 2, 3. That we're at 30. We're 30, 75 at the moment. Let's put 15 points into that. 57. Oh, right. What's that? 30, 60, 90. We got 60 points still to go. Okay, then. Let's put in... let's up our swim to be 58. That's it. Right, I think now... our perception, that's another 15, another 15 there. Our perception, 37, 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What else did we put in here? We done and brawn. Did we put it in brawn as well? Yeah. put it in brawn, customs, swims all done. Navigation's the best we can do. So let's put 15 into customs, which would be 68, 72, 73, sorry. And then that, I think, is it. Okay, so those are all our skills done and dusted. Okay, so this character is roughly ready to start now. We know we'll call him Club Wielder. No, Big Club, we'll call him, just for a change. Okay, then. So all the characters. So now what we need to do is sort of like start thinking about weapons and putting some weapons and equipment in. And this is a good opportunity for me to just give you not a huge amount of information, because I want to do another video about that, but just sort of like talk about other game mechanics. So first of all, let's just talk about hit points locations. So you can see here that each of the locations have a number of hit points. So head is 5 out of 5, 4. Chest has got 7 points, abdomen got 6 points. So when you hit, you roll a 1d20, and that shows you where the damage is going to go. If you are still in positive hit points, that's a minor wound and nothing else happens. If you go into negative hit points between 0 and 1 before your negative maximum. So in a leg, it would be 0 to -4. In your chest, it would be 0 to -6. Therefore, that's a serious wound. If you take a serious wound, you can't do any attacking for 1d3 turns. That's rolled. And you also have to make an endurance check. And if you fail the endurance check, you can't use that arm. If you fail it on your chest or your head, then it loses, you lose consciousness. And then if you go the negative hit points or lower, i.e. for your leg, if it's -5 onwards, so -6, -7, -8, -9, that actually means you have a major wound. That actually means that the limb is damaged. It's almost like damage beyond repair. A lot of people, if they sort of like did a huge amount of negative hit points, they can chop people's heads off. Okay, they can actually decapitate people. We don't need to sort of give the narrative about it. We can just say, oh, that's it. So if I just bring this in for you, you'll be able to see it. So this is what I have open. So you can see that in the chest, abdomen, of head, if they fail the serious roll, they're unconscious. A major wound, they can't fight. They can't continue to fight. If it's in a limb, it's ripped off. If it's a head, chest or abdomen, they have an endurance check versus the original attack. If they fail, they are dead. End of. There's no death saves. There's no, oh, you can carry on fighting for X amount of rounds. No, you can't fight and you are dead. Full stop. Now, if you remember, we talked about luck points earlier on. And one thing a luck point can do is change a major wound to a serious wound. And that's why you'll find that characters save that luck point throughout the session. And then if they suddenly realize that something's not going to happen, they're not going to have a damage, then they'll use it up. But they tend to keep one to one side for that major wound, so they can reduce it to a serious wound. And that's something that is so important. It really is. And, you know, it can mean massive differences. So people who play D&D and come to it might find it a little bit harsh, but we find it more realistic, you know, in the sense that the classic, and I talk about this a lot. So a crossbow bolt, so a range, a siege, a ranged weapon, crossbow bolts, a light crossbow bolt, well, a heavy crossbow bolt does 1d10. Okay, 1d10. So if you rolled a d10, I've just got 9 points of damage. So if I did 9 points of damage here, this is going to be at -4. So they've taken a serious wound. Okay, they could be incapacitated. They can't attack anymore. And there's that wonderful thing about, you know, if somebody came up to a character and put a crossbow bolt to their head and said, "Give me your money or I'm firing the bolt." In Mythras, if they fired the bolt, you would die or could die. Okay, and this is the interesting thing about it. Okay, then. So let's look at. So those are the hit points, and then you have armor points. So armor points always stop damage. So if I have 4 armor points and did 4 points of damage, no damage would get through. If I had 5 armor points and did 10 points of damage, 5 points would come through. You always deduct it, and it never deteriorates. It's always like that. You might be thinking that everybody will be clad out in heavy armor. Well, it depends on your strength, because encumbrance is played in this game, and if you're overburdened, all your skills become more difficult. It's such a well-balanced game. Okay, then. So, yes, exactly. It's very heavy. So certain people cannot wear it. Right, so let's get my melee weapon in here. So we have a great club. Okay, so the damage on my great club, okay, is 2d6s. Now here is a little plus sign, and I can toggle it on or off. Okay, if it's on, it means that it automatically adds the damage modifier, which is plus 1d2 because I'm flipping strong. Okay, then. So if I just hide my character sheet, if you look down here, if I roll that damage, that's 5 points. So I actually rolled a 1, a 3, and a 1. Let's roll it again. 4 points. 11 points. Now we're cooking on gas. That is super. So that's the damage. Okay, the next is the size of the weapon, and my size is huge. So that is really important when parrying. So if I hit with my great club and somebody parried with a dagger, it's not going to stop all the damage. If I hit with a great club and somebody blocks with a huge shield or parries with it, then it will reduce all the damage. So there's a nice balance there as well. So every to hit roll, if they hit, then you can either evade which is up here. Evade means that you throw yourself to one side, and if you're successful, you'll miss. It'll miss you, but you end up prone on the ground. Or you can parry. So you parry using your weapon style. Okay, so I've got a huge big club. So when I'm coming down and hitting people, if you put up a little knife that is small, the majority of my damage is going to go through that. Okay, so the next thing, the reach of my weapon. This is when it gets slightly complicated, but keep with it. Great club. My reach is long. Okay, then. So reach is how close you are to each other. So, for example, if there's a difference between two stages, then the reach rules come in. So it goes short, medium, long, very long. So if somebody was coming at me with their hands, okay, so that's short range. Then short, medium, long, I've got 2 jumps. So what that means, when they're trying to hit me with their fists, because I've got a long reach weapon and they're short reach, their fists don't hit me. I can keep them at bay with my huge club. Any damage that they do to the club, okay, and not to me. However, in that situation, the attacker with the fists, if they get a special, they can, or their action they can use to close reach. And what that means is that they then come closer to me, so my club is now ineffective. Instead of doing 1d6, I think it's 1d3 points of damage, and they can start hitting me now. So there are good things about having a long reach weapon, because you can keep people at bay. But if people manage to get inside that, then the best thing to do is probably drop that weapon and try to draw a shorter weapon. So over here, we have armor points of the weapon. So mine is 4, and I have 10 hit points on it. So what this means is that if they can hit my weapon, if they do 10 points of damage to my weapon, then 4 will be removed from it. So they will do 6 points. Once your weapon gets to 0 hit points, it's broken, and then that's it. But that will only be damaged if you have a combat special, or if you are at close range and you can't get in to actually fight each other. Notice here that it has an encumbrance. Everything has an encumbrance, and this encumbrance is 3. Okay, and one thing that you'll notice here, that my encumbrance has automatically gone up to 3. Okay, so it's now 3. You can go up to double your strength. So I can go up to, 32 items on this character. Armor counts as, if it's carried, it's the full amount. If you're wearing it, it's half amount. So let's give our character some armor now. And let's see what armor I can wear, and what would be an interesting thing to carry. Now, I want him to be quite tough. So I'm wondering whether or not I can put half plate on him. Okay, then. So which would be 4 encumbrance, but 5 points of 5 armor protection. Okay then, so down here, I can put 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, now in this section, we can put type in, and if I put half plate, I can just copy that. You don't have to wear the same armor type around your whole body. You don't need to do that, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, notice that I'm wearing this. So now I go on to my 4s here. So if I come down here, you can see that I'm at 15. Okay, now that's actually fine still, because I can go up to double my strength. So I can go up to 32 here. But if I change this to pop it into my backpack, can you notice how this is going up? Because it's suddenly going from half in total to full total. Okay, so you can see that it's just gradually going up and up and up and up and up. Okay, so it's really important that you decide where you're going to put things, how you're going to wear them, what you're going to do with them. Now, there is something else which is here. Okay, notice that my yes, you can quickly become overburdened, very quickly. Notice that now my armor, that I have a penalty to my initiative. So if you remembered beforehand, my initiative was 11. So I'm rolling a 1d10 and then adding on 11. Because of my armor, I've now got a -6 penalty to it. So instead of 11, it's down to 5. So the more armor you wear, the heavier it is and the slower you become, but the more protection you get. And that is the key thing. And that's what I'm saying. Everything is balanced so well. I think it's balanced so well. It's unbelievable. And so just to give you an idea, so this is still my first level character, and we're going to talk about skills in another how skills work. But if I roll to hit here, I need 73 to hit. Okay, 73%. So 34%, that has hit. Okay. And then if I'll show you, if I favor this, then when I roll that again, my club had come up. There's my great. So I've missed there. I've hit there, and then I can click my great club, and I'll do 11 points of damage. Now, if I was doing that 11 points of damage, let's just see where that went. It went into my 10. So pretend that I've just actually done that to myself. 10 points of damage into 11 points damage into my 10. So 11 points of damage went into my chest. So 5 points of damage is reduced it. So now I'm down to 6, and that will take that down to 1 point. Okay, so that's still a minor wound. Okay, so let's just pretend that I'm wearing no armor there. No armor at all. So 11 points of damage. That's not going to stop any. So I got to take 11 points. So this is going to go down to -4 points. Now that's a serious wound. I've had a serious wound. So I need to make, I can't fight. I can't fight for 1d3 turns. So I can only defend for 2 more turns. I just rolled a dice there. That's what I did. Plus, I need to make an endurance check. So my original attack was 33. So I make an endurance check. Now, I actually remarkably critted. Okay, which means that I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting no matter what, you know. So even though I'm seriously wounded, other people might have fallen by the wayside, but not me. I'm continuing to fight onwards. You know, if somebody didn't have a lot of hit points there, let's take... Let me show you another character. So, say, for example, Ike MacDuff, which was an NPC. Okay, she only has 6 points of damage there. So 11 points would take it down to minus what I did, 6 -5. Let me grab a monster. Let me grab a goblin. So 11 points of damage. Let me just put him up to maximum points. 11 points of damage is still a serious wound, yeah. 11 points of damage to his head would take it down to -6, wouldn't it? So this goblin needs to make an endurance check. Here's his endurance check. He failed his endurance check, so he is now dead. That's it. With a mighty swing of my great club, I just hit the poor goblin's head and just smash it. And the goblin dies. It one hit. He's dead. That's it. And even better than he's dead, I've just sort of like pummeled his head in, you know, but a swords person might slice the head off or an arm off. Notice that arms and legs have a lot less hit points. So arms have 4 hit points on a goblin. So 11 points of damage is the severing arms left, right, and center. Yeah, so I call it crush it. Yeah, and that's what happens. He hits them hard, or it should be it hard. That's what it is. So yeah, so that's basically the character generation. What you also get is that you get some starting money. You can also, for your wealth here, you can also have, you can roll for families or enemies. I find it's a lot better. Most players have got an idea and they just fill it out. I very rarely do the randomness of a role. Although some people do prefer to roll it and then add it to their character, which is absolutely fine. So yeah, that's our character made up. What we'll do next time, there's a gap, or maybe tomorrow, I'll talk about skills. We'll talk about skills next and how skills actually work in the game. But hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into behind the scenes and how we make up characters. And hopefully you can see how balanced the game is. And, you know, you might be sat there thinking, oh, I like that challenge. I like that. You know, so, yeah, by all means, you can actually download a free copy of the rules. Okay, it's completely free. Mythras Imperative is completely free. It's got all the rules in that you can see it. You can get it for free. You can play the game from it. And also, I've done a totally free encounter that you can download from Ko-fi. Oh, thanks, Royal Fleeks. It's lovely to see you. Especially, yeah, if you've not used one, I love it. Mainly because everything's there for us, you know. And it makes some of the maths a lot easier, to be honest with you. Just out of interest, you can also do improve rolls as well here, which is good. This is the augment button that sets it up here, but we don't always use that. We actually have a button. We have like a macro that works out augmented skills for us. Okay, so we'll leave our wonderful character until next time. This is where we left the party last time, in the middle of Cold Snap Pass. And yeah, we're just asked for perception checks last time, and Merrick had to do one and Hazra did one as well. And the other thing is, I'll take you a bit of a guided tour around Roll20 as well. Okay, people, thank you so much for coming along and supporting the stream tonight. I'm glad it was helpful to everybody. I hope you really enjoyed that, and I hope it gives you a bit of a background into what the game is actually like. And I'll do some more of these, looking at the idea of combat and skills, etc. If you do want to support us, then by all means go pop along to my Ko-fi site, and you can follow us there. You could donate or become a member there. And also all my information about my world, about Odess campaign, can be found on the World Anvil site there. So by all means, go and have a look on there. It's all free. You can use it if you want. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow around between 11 and 12 for some more Elder Scrolls Online. Until then, look after yourself. Oh, we should have a look to see who's, if there's anybody streaming. Oh, dear. Then, look after. Let's see if there's nobody on that I know. So you go off and find people to watch, people. Okay, then I'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and healthy and make sure you have a wonderful time. See you all later. Goodbye.